back on the air. This is Radio Entrepreneurs. My name again is Jeffrey Davis, and I want to remind the listeners, not just the host of Radio Entrepreneurs, but also chairman of the board and founder of Mage LLC, management consulting firm. Giggling beside me is my co-host. I don't know what I said wrong. He's probably thinking of the joke he did in another segment, throwing me under the bus. And that's John Dustin, the very infinitely qualified and talented John Dustin of JED Insurance.
Thank you, Jeff. Happy to be back.
Well, you ready to throw me under the bus again?
I didn't throw you under the bus. It was retaliation. In the employment world, we call that retaliation.
Okay. Well, here's a guest we want to thank Mark Z from Mark Z Legal Staffing for. Mark sent us to someone I've known directly, indirectly, not really directly, indirectly for many years. Bill, William, and McLaughlin from Avalon Bay Communities. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Great to be here.
Great to be here, too. Tell our listeners who don't know anything about Avalon Bay what it's all about.
Well, Avalon Bay is a publicly traded real estate investment trust, and we focus on the apartment segment of the real estate business. We are probably the second largest apartment REIT in the S&P 500. We have about 85,000 apartments and about a $30 billion market cap. We operate in the coastal markets on the East Coast from Boston to Washington, and on the West Coast from Seattle to San Diego. Again, focus exclusively on high-end rental properties.
Did you start the business?
I have been there for almost 23 years. I missed the IPO by about 6 months. I was actually the first
timing is everything.
First hire thereafter, or one of the first hires thereafter. The first my boss, who became the CEO, a guy named Bryce Blair, hired me to replace him as the local development guy in Boston.
Well, after he hit the jackpot
moved up the food chain. Yes,
right,
exactly.
Right. Interesting. So what was your experience before being there?
I was at another sizable development company, Lincoln Property Company, out of
Right.
Dallas, Texas.
Right.
And I was the junior peon in the Boston office. I actually think that was my title, junior peon. And I had been there for about 6 years prior to joining Avalon. And prior to that, I was a commercial broker for a very brief period of time at the old Coldwell Banker Commercial Real Estate Services.
Remember that too?
Yeah, right out of college. So I've done real estate since.
So it's real estate's in your blood.
Yeah, I actually bought a 6-family rent-controlled property my senior year at Harvard and moved into it from my dorm. And it was a rundown, classic rent-control mess.
And how old were you when you did that?
22.
What'd your parents say?
21, actually. I was 21. My father co-signed the loan, God bless him. Otherwise, we would have
Risk taker.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? And he had said, he was an attorney. He had a bunch of real estate clients over the years, and I always expected I'd go to law school like everyone in my family had. And I started to watch what he did for a living versus what his clients did. His clients had big boats, and they had the weekends off, and he was always working on something on Sunday mornings. And so I decided I'd rather be a client than an attorney. And I told him I was interested in real estate. This was the mid-'80s. Things were hot back
Booming.
then. Booming
85.
Booming market for single-family. Massachusetts.
Made me enough money on my condo to buy into a management consulting firm that I was starting. What makes Avalon Bay Communities unique? Do you have a unique way of looking at what you do?
We used to have a unique strategy with respect to markets. We were in the Sexy Six, which we considered the high barrier to entry. Boston, Washington, New York, Seattle, San Francisco, and LA. And a lot of other firms have copied our capital allocation model, which is to be in these coastal markets where there's a high degree of education for the workforce and, frankly, very high home prices, which give you a ceiling for your rents. So as these others have copied us, we have moved into or continued to differentiate ourselves through development. And so we do most of our portfolio has been organically ground-up developed by Avalon Bay. So we find the sites, we design them, we go through the local zoning process, then we oversee the construction, and we oversee the operations. We are vertically integrated in terms of how the process works, and we end up building assets. We have one here in Natick, one in Framingham right behind us, which are exactly what we want. High-end, new product tends to have a higher value than a lot of the older stuff.
From a regulatory standpoint, I know Martha Coakley was overseeing REITs heavily in Massachusetts. You're publicly traded. How does that affect your accounting and?
Well, I think remember the old commercial where they had the it was a salami company or something, and it was Hebrew National.
Hebrew National.
Hebrew National, and they answered to a higher authority. We answer to a higher authority
SEC, yeah,
in terms of the
FINRA,
SEC.
yeah.
We have, there is a cost to being a public company, Sarbanes-Oxley type stuff, that is really forcing firms to reach for scale, because it is a fixed cost that's brutal. And so a smaller firm has to go through the exact same steps. that a much
Professional
larger-
fees you're talking
Yeah,
about.
professional fees, oversight. But be that as it may, I think we have one of our other strategic advantages, I think, is our strong balance sheet. We've really been careful keeping an eye on how we match fund our activities on the other side of the balance sheet by making sure that we're of the $30 billion, I think we have $6 billion of debt. So we're the opposite of what most people are in real estate, which is 80%
Leveraged.
levered.
Yeah.
We're 20% levered.
And your consistent returns for the investors, pretty much?
Well, it's a capital allocation goal to outperform the market, both by being in the right markets, by adding the value through development, by trading in and out of assets over time. And so our core FFO, which is the measurement of REIT income, has been at the top of the group in terms of its growth rate. And we think it's fairly safe based on our leverage level. And I think we may be the only REIT that didn't cut our dividend in the financial crisis. And we've had great dividend growth over the years. And that's what a lot of people own REIT for.